Welcome to Block 10 Notes. Now we're going to continue our probability, but it's going to have a little twist to it. So here we go. First of all, and always, you need to make sure that you copy down this actual visible table and this right here. And if it's helpful for you, it might be helpful to copy down the spinners. So why don't you pause that video and do that at this moment. Welcome back. So the question is, what is the theoretical probability the contestant will win $100? So they spin the first time, this first spinner, and they have the option of it landing on 1, 5, 10, 20, or 100. So if we look at this, we have how many possible outcomes. Remember, we have to figure out what the total is for spinner A. And we have 5 sections. So for spinner A, 5 is the outcomes. And for spinner B, we have 3 total outcomes. So looking at spinner A, the chance of you falling on 1 out of the 5 is 1 in $1. The chance of landing here and there would be 100. We're working with 100. 1 out of 5 total outcomes. But then we have spinner B, which they're going to spin at the same time, and you can get 1 out of 3. So we want to find out what the theoretical probability of the contestant landing on 100 on spinner A and 100 on spinner B. So after you figure these 2 fractions out, these 2 probabilities, we are going to do something amazing. All you got to do to find out the theoretical probability is to multiply those 2 fractions. So 1 times 1 is 1. And 5 times 3 is 15. So the probability of spinner A and spinner B landing on 100 is 1 out of 15. Now if you want to, we can do the visual representation. 1 and 1, you can get how many 1s and 5s. So we got 1 here. And how many 5s do we have? Just 1 5. And then we have 1 here and 1 100 in the other spinner. So keep filling out this chart. So pause the video and keep filling out the chart. But before you go on any further, let me try this one. So we have 5. How many 5s do we have in the spinner? Just 1. And then how many 1s? Just 1. And keep filling it out. So do you remember the probability of spinning an A and B to get 100? Remember, it's 1 out of 15? Well, let's count how many of these do we have here. How many boxes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Those are the 15 different possibilities that we can get either spinning A or B and it landing on any one of those numbers. But remember, where are we going to get the combination of 100 on the first time and 100 on the first time when we spin B? Well, that's only going to happen 1 time out of these 15 opportunities. So if I look here, where do I have 100 both times? Just right here. So do you see how that's only 1 box out of 15 boxes? So instead of having to do a table and all of this right here, we can just do this awesome math right here and not have to fill in the table. So I just wanted you to see the difference there. Now let's move on to the next one. Consider another game. You and a partner each have a container. So here's your containers, right? Each container contains the same number and type of marbles. You have 2 blue marbles, 1 yellow, and 3 green. You and your partner will each select one marble from your container without looking. If you both choose the same color marble, you will both win prizes. So we're going to conduct this experiment. It's the same thing. So what's the probability of you pulling a yellow and a yellow? So pretty much all you got to do is write this probability down. What's the probability of me reaching into this one right here and pulling out a yellow? So my total are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have, oh, not 5, 6 possible, and I have 1 yellow. What's the probability of you reaching in your jar and pulling out a yellow? You got 1 out of 6 as well. So the probability of both of us reaching in and pulling out a yellow, we would have to multiply that together. So after we figured out each possible outcome for each event of me and you, now we got to do the math. 1 times 1 is 1, and 6 times 6 is 36. So the probability of you pulling a yellow and me pulling a yellow is 1 out of 36. Now let's try with the green. Remember, I got to count for me how many greens I have in here. And there are 3 out of 6, correct? What about for you? Same thing, 3 out of 6. So now let's multiply across. 3 times 3 is 9, 6 times 6 is 36. So the probability of you pulling green and myself pulling green is 9 out of 36. Now you do the probability of pulling a purple and then me pulling a purple. See what you get there. Make sure you go up to the teacher and get your signature. But if you needed to see it visually, if we look at this up here, this actual table, we will notice how many yellows are yellow. Well, let's see. If I look here, I only have 1 yellow and yellow. And if we count all these boxes, there's a total of 36 boxes. So see how that works visually? Now if I look at green, let me count my greens. Let me use a different color. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So see where that 9 comes out of? Out of 36. So now we'll have you guys do the purple.